My name is
Kari Lake.
and I am a Rudy Poo candy ass.
The midterms are getting closer and closer, and honestly, the Republican field is getting stupider and stupider. Case in point, the Arizona Republican candidate from Arizona, who's today's candy ass, Kari Lake. Kari Lake is an election denier, so obviously she was endorsed by Donald Trump, and you get on all the baggage that comes with that. She's gone on television saying that she's not going to accept the results of the election if she loses. She's already getting herself ready for the fact that if she loses the election, she's going to claim, like Donald Trump did, that that it was stolen from her. But what really is bothering me about this woman and about Republicans is the fact that they have their priorities mismanaged. They may think they have their hearts in the right place, but when it comes to their priorities, they're just completely screwed up. Case in point, let's do some time traveling, shall we? In 1990, Arizona voters defeated a ballot measure that would have designated Martin Luther King a holiday. Now, one of the ensuing consequences of that is that Arizona lost the Super Bowl, in this particular case, Super Bowl 27, the one that Dallas won against the Buffalo Bills. They lost it, and the NFL moved that game to Pasadena, California in the Rose Bowl, which was a right choice. Now, this was back in 1993, and obviously Arizona, well, let me put it this way, Republicans in Arizona still haven't learned the lesson. You don't screw with the people bringing money into your state. Now, I talk about this because Kari Lake decided to have an interview to say that, oh boy. Now, let's get into context. Everyone knows that the next Super Bowl is going to be in Arizona, State Farm Stadium, one of the biggest stadiums in the NFL. Now, she's threatening the NFL that if the NFL talks about her immigration policies, oh boy. Anyway, what you're about to see is a clip from AZTV7, an interview with a reporter in which she throws out her BS election policies. I'm sorry to put you all through this. I really am.
Inaugurated, you would be sworn in a month from the Super Bowl being here. If the NFL were to threaten they're going to pull the Super Bowl if you do that, would it make you waver in your decision?
You want to tell me that a bunch of football teams owned by billionaires are okay with fentanyl pouring across our border at a record level, killing our young people? Number one killer right now is fentanyl, 18 to 45. It's killing a generation of people. If the NFL is okay with that, then they got to do some soul searching. I don't think the NFL is that stupid. I really don't. But I'm not going to be taking marching orders from the NFL. I'm taking marching orders from the people of Arizona who are tired of their children getting their hands on the most deadly drug this country's ever seen. Mike, I talk to parents all the time. The hardest thing in the world is having a mother come up to you and tell you that she lost her 19-year-old because he took a pill. He took one pill. He didn't know it was a fentanyl pill. He didn't know it came from Mexico, from the cartels. He's gone. Think about think about out there what you have accomplished since you were 19. There's no amount of money that can ever bring a child back who's lost his life to fentanyl. And the thing is, we don't have to have these senseless deaths. We're being poisoned by the cartels and the CCP. The communist regime out of China is behind this. And if you don't think that they can take down a civilization and a country over drugs, with drugs, then you need to do a history lesson. And you got to look at the opium wars. They brought down dynasties with drugs, and they're trying to bring this country down. I am a mama bear at heart, and I will fight tooth and nail to protect our children. I don't want to have to face another parent who's lost a 17-year-old son, a 19-year-old daughter, a 20-year-old daughter. We're losing our future, Mike. And so if the NFL has a problem with that, they're going to have to lick their wounds, because we are going to secure our border in Arizona.
Again, I'm sorry for putting you all through that. So I'm going to get to the hypocrisy about that in a few moments, but the NFL wanting this has moved the Super Bowl from alternate locations. I just gave you an example of it earlier in this video. Arizona, the state of Arizona at that time, lost hundreds of millions of dollars, all because they want to act racist and not recognize Martin Luther King Day as a national holiday. They paid the price. And frankly, I think they're going to pay another price. Now, Kari Lake wants to talk about, now, please don't misunderstand me. Now, I haven't had anyone in my extended family or my friends who have died because of fentanyl. I hope to God it never happens. But if you're not smart enough or intelligent enough to tell people, don't put stuff in your body that you don't recognize, then that becomes a problem. Not for them, but for you as the parent. And I'm not pushing the blame on parents or anything, but you've got to tell your kids what fentanyl is. And as for Kari Lake trying to push out another racist banter about the Chinese Communist Party, about the Mexicans, it feels like I'm watching Trump all over again. When he started his campaign, saying that Mexicans are not bringing, when you look at the border, Mexicans are not bringing the best people. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing rapists. This is you, Lake. Are you trying to one up Trump? You're making yourself look like an ass. Now, I have no doubts that we need to fight drugs, but none of you Republicans, now I've asked this question before of Republicans on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and what have you, and I keep getting silence. What are you going to do about drugs in our streets? What are you going to do about fentanyl? What are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about that? And I have not gotten an answer, especially from people like Kari Lake. But the hypocrisy of all of this is the fact is she's angry about drugs. She says that it's hard to tell a mother that their son is dead because of fentanyl. I wish that on no mother in this country. No parent should ever have to bury their child. That being said, I just wish you felt the same way when it comes to mass shootings in this country. I have yet to hear one Republican give any kind of solution to mass shootings in this country. When Irvindale happened, kids were in that school, Kari. You didn't say anything about them. Nothing. You said nothing about those kids and those teachers that were massacred. The Buffalo supermarket, who's the shooter of the man of which who did the shooting, cited Tucker Carlson, one of your right-wing nutjob friends. You said nothing about them, nothing about the victims. Stop trying to make the lives of people into a political hay, the deaths of people into a political issue. But then again, I'm talking about a woman endorsed by a psychopathic liar president who nearly destroyed our country's democracy because of the big lie. a big lie that Kari Lake has pushed and prodded and pushed around in this country, to the point where you have armed people in Arizona at drop boxes intimidating voters. So this is the last, so with all respect to you, Kari, as a mother, and I hope to God you are a mother, because I hope to God you don't use your kids as political props. But you are the last person on the planet I will ever take advice from when it comes to protecting children. Because you and the rest of the Republican Party have not done anything to protect children. During the COVID vaccine, during the COVID pandemic, you did nothing. Your president, Donald Trump, didn't do nothing. Mass shooting after mass shooting after mass shooting. When kids are wheeled out in gurneys, parents, we have to identify their bodies. We keep asking you, what are you going to do about this? And we get no answers. We get nothing from all of you. I mean, it seems to me that you have some sort of problem when it comes to empathy. You'll empathize with this because only because it might get you votes. But when you see kids as young as 5, 6, 7 years old at elementary school gunned down, where's your empathy with that, Lake? Where's your empathy with that Republican Party? It's nowhere to be found. Your hypocrisy shows to me, and it should show to all of you, that she doesn't care about the kids who died from fentanyl. All she did was keep pushing a racist agenda, saying it's all the CTP, the Communist Chinese Party, and repeating exactly what Donald Trump said. It's coming from the southern border. It's coming from Mexico. What about kids who are dying at the hands of Americans in this country in mass shootings? I have yet to, again, and I keep pushing this whole thing through to show you the difference between the Republican Party and everyone and the rest of America. I care about what happens to everyone who dies in this country before it's time, especially if they're young as kids, whether it's a mass shooting or whether it's mass shooting or a drug overdose, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic that's still out there, mind you. But your empathy doesn't extend to them. I wonder why, Kari. I really wonder why. I wish that you could explain to me why we haven't heard a single word from a single Republican about mass shootings. It's all about fentanyl because you think it's going to score you political points against the Biden administration. And I think that's pretty damn pathetic if you ask me. Kari, you are nothing more than a hypocrite, a liar, a Trump whore, but most importantly, in my view, you are nothing more than
a Rudy Poo Candy ass.
CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.